Why hello everybody, how are you doing? So naturally, you guys know me from my destruction reviews and whatnot, but today I've decided I'm gonna build my own car and see how it is. I'm familiar to building a few cars before and I've done them all off camera, but today we're gonna make another one. And see, here in automation you can choose pretty much whatever you want here in 2020 all the way to 1946. So I'm just gonna show all of you how to make a basic car. So we'll go for one for like 1992. This one we'll do commuter, and you can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name mine. My brand name is always that. I was gonna name it the Revelation. Okay, and then you want to go manual. You can auto generate if you want, but it's fun. It's more fun to do manual building than, you know, having it automatically do it for you. And then here is where you can choose pretty much all you want. So you have a whole bunch of different bodies. These are just mod bodies, don't worry about that. But since we're making a sedan commuter, we want something like this. Something like a Taurus wagon that only we got in America. Make it as long as you want. I would usually go for something in the middle, so like 105. But I don't know if it has a sedan body or not, which this one doesn't. So we're gonna go with 109. And here it is. You can definitely tell what it is because, well, only one car has this distinct shape. Normally I would make something pretty sporty, but because we're making it pretty basic, we're just gonna use steel. Might as well use a ladder frame while we're at it, and steel. Now here's what you want. You can either have a front longitudinal or a front transverse. I'll go with the front transverse. And with that you can only choose a double wishbone suspension. So we'll do double wishbone, because why not? And here is where you can choose your body. So you have a convertible, which I don't know why you would want. This thing is not very good looking. You can have a 5-door hatchback, which again, don't know why you would want. You can have a 5-door actually good looking wagon, which, you know, isn't bad. Or you could have the goofy looking wagon, which again, I don't know why you would want. Or if you're like me, you could just go with the basic sedan, which is what we're gonna do anyway. Now go here, you can choose the type of paint you want. Me, I'm gonna go all body panels and then just choose one of the most basic paints you can, just like it was in the Taurus. I know a lot of Tauruses were painted weird colors, but I'm just gonna leave mine gray, silver looking. And then here, make it the same color. Finish, finish, move on. Now this is the most fun part. You can put whatever, you know, stuff you want on it. But I'm probably gonna do this later whenever I finish building the engine. Alright, since this is a basic commuter sedan, I'm gonna go front wheel drive and go with a new engine. We'll name it later, but yep. And for a basic sedan, you would either want an inline 4, so something like this, or you would want a 60-degree V6, which sounds pretty incredible. Now for me, since this is a basic car, I'm just gonna go with an inline 4 because I feel like that has the best chance of fitting, you know. Basic sedan means basic parts, so cast iron block with pushrod technology, just because. Just like any American engine that came out. And then go iron standard, and then move on. So here you can see how many cc's your engine is, and right now we're at 2000 cc's, or otherwise known as 2 liters. So I think we're gonna leave it at that because that's a pretty good engine size for an average car like this. For your crank, again, we want something basic, so we're just gonna go cast iron, cast heavy, and we'll go harmonic dampers just because. Now in automation, you can't really tell what issues your engine has until you're fully finished with building it, so I'm just gonna keep going and hope that this stuff works. RPM limit is pretty low, so I'm gonna raise that up a little bit. Hopefully the pushrod engine technology doesn't, you know, interfere with that. This, you should be good, so you can move on. Naturally aspirated, of course. If you want to make a turbo 4 banger, you can, but I'm not going to. Plus the pushrod technology would make this a very, very, you know. Alright, here we'll go with injection just because I feel like carburetors, even though it is old school, just like pushrods, will be better. So then we'll go with mechanical fuel injection per cylinder and move on. Gotta go unleaded, regular, standard, and then move on. Now for your headers, obviously, you know, you want just the simplest stuff. I don't know if cast mid is really a good or not, but at least it's not compassed or low, so it'll actually be able to breathe. Exhaust size 2 liter, yeah. You catalytic converter, you can have a 2 flow one, and then this one will just go straight through and then straight through. And right away, there's an issue. Valve float. I knew making it a push rod would have done that. Yeah, it turns out push rod engines do not like to rev, so that's the max RPM we can go without, you know, making it a different engine. We'll go overhead cams then. There we go. That should be better. RPM limit. Let's see how high we can go before everything starts to stress. Con rods are starting to fail, but at least it hits 6,000. You could fix it by going, you know, and doing that, but you know, I think it would make it a little bit less powerful, so I don't know if I want to do that. It will stress out, but whatever. At least it revs. And now we can do a quick pull with it. Sounds great. Go back to car model designers and then go to fixtures, and then here is where you can actually start to design what your car looks like. So for this, since this is a 90s car, we gotta find some 90s looking headlights. There's a lot of modern car headlights in here for some reason, I don't know why. These Geo Metro headlights? Yeah, let's see how these fit. Now yes, it will shape to your car's dimensions, so you really gotta decide if whether or not you want to make a good looking car. Something that looks like this. Geo Metro headlights, these don't work. I can't tell what these are, but these are from a mod. Is it? Oh, yeah. No. We got Chevy Cavalier headlights now. These are also cheap car headlights like the Metro, and these do not fit. These really do not fit through this category a little bit more. We could go with NB Miata headlights, but I don't know why you would want to. I don't know. Let's see how these look. You know, this kind of reminds me of a Dodge Intrepid, kind of, or I don't know, any of the Chrysler Cloud cars. Yeah, those aren't gonna work. I think I might just have to try these, but these don't really conform well with this car. I don't know, I could try to size them down a little. Yeah, those aren't gonna work. These are like Hyundai Sonata headlights. Sure, let's put some on here. Oh god, these are way too big. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work either. Nah. One thing we can also do to make sure that the headlights fit better is kind of, you know, try to morph the car into looking less, you know, bad than it already does. So I'm gonna try to look for anything in the front and see if I can adjust it. Okay, I've kind of morphed it in a little bit, and now it looks like a car that can actually fit. So let's go back to the design. Let's take a look at some of the headlights that I didn't like before, like this one. These, yeah, they don't look as bad, so we might go with these. I honestly don't know how I feel about these because they look fine from the front, but then whenever you look at them top down, you can definitely see that's a headlight, so I don't know about this one. We'll get rid of them and see what else we can find. Might as well try the Geo Metro headlights again. I would love to go with these cooler looking ones, but I don't think that would really fit with the basic car aesthetic, so try to kind of make these look like Cavalier headlights, even though this is definitely not a Cavalier. See, something like that would work pretty well because, you know, cheap car, so cheap looking headlights and proportions and whatnot. And actually, as a matter of fact, now that I look at it here, it's definitely screaming, you know, Dodge Stratus or Chrysler Sebring. It looks that way so much that I'm pretty sure that this can be used to make a GTA 3 Kuruma. And if you don't know what the Kuruma is from GTA 3, it's just a basic generic sedan that you start with. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can't replicate that. So, I don't know which headlights the Kuruma has, I'm just going to trust that these kind of look like it. Maybe. Yeah, that's not too bad looking. I'll leave it at that. And don't forget about the rear end, which definitely needs, you know, head or taillights. So, go here, and then we'll see what we can find. We want mid-90s looking taillights because, you know, this is a mid-90s cheap car, so let's find some. I feel like these would work kind of well. I know in the Kuruma they were absolutely gigantic and you know, not very realistic looking, but I think that these are meant to be like Volkswagen Bora taillights, maybe. Then you have these, which literally look like a footprint. I'm gonna see what these are about. If I really wanted to make the Kuruma, I would just stick them all the way out there and then call it good, but I don't know, so we'll take those off. Now these, I think, I don't know where these lights come from. I think that these are either Lada taillights or some other car taillights. I don't know. They kind of look like either CLS or Ford Falcon taillights, I'm gonna be honest, especially at this view. Automation is telling me, no, you can't put it there. Well, I'm gonna do it anyway, Automation. I don't care what you say. I think the best way to do this would just be to rotate it a little bit more and then try to fit it within these crevices on the very end, but Automation won't let me put them all the way back, so I think we'll just have to leave it at that with a slight little indent in it, which I don't mind, because, you know, it's not that big of a designer car. It's just a car designed to let you go places. So from the side view, it doesn't really look that great. I mean, you can tell, but it's the best that we got. So other think of it, these headlights don't really fit this car as much, so I'm gonna get rid of them. Try to find some other ones that look okay. I just realized, why are there taillights for headlights? Like, aren't these supposed to be Evo taillights? We got Honda Civic looking headlights. See what happens if I put those on the car. They automatically turn into Chevy Impala looking headlights. Make it smaller, it ends up not looking as good, so yeah, no. Plus it's a 1992 car anyway, so those wouldn't really look all that great. Go back to the Miata headlights and see if these fit the design. So it's definitely given the cloud car aesthetic now, you can definitely tell. Now, I'm looking at the reference image for the Kuruma in GTA 3 and I'm just now realizing that this is it. There is no grille on that car at all, it's just this and a chrome bumper. I gave it slightly bigger NB Miata headlights, so now it kind of looks like the Kuruma. Unlike the Kuruma though, I'm probably going to put a grille or a vent on the car because, you know, it just doesn't look right without it, so let's find one. Something like this, maybe? See how this fits. Yeah, move it down slightly, but I think that looks fine, so I'm gonna move on to some vents. For a 90s American car like this, you want some, you know, front end vents that just make you think swish. So usually some American cars put, you know, their fog lights as vents, but I don't know if that's an option for this, except for this, but I don't know if that'll fit. Will it? That's a performance car aesthetic. This thing is definitely not a performance car. Looking at a reference sheet for the Intrepid, I'm just now realizing how ugly that freaking car is. I think for something like this, I'm gonna want one long vent like that and give it a smile aesthetic. Looks pretty goofy, but whenever I put the, you know, the license plate on it, it should hopefully mitigate how ugly it looks. I mean, that's how Dodge did it, so, you know. And for this, I'm just gonna put this plate on and then let's put it on the front. See where I'm going with it? Now, I'm probably not going to, but also probably gonna try to do a little light bar that the Intrepid has, because you know how the Intrepid looks, it just looks weird with one. But let me see if I can do the Revelation with one. If I want to do something like that, I gotta find something without a border. So let me see. I think we got one. Just need to slide, and then you can see how it morphs, so I can actually increase the size of it. See, and then you can see it's, you know, not perfectly lined up, but it will do. So I'm gonna try to fix this. There we go, and then you can kind of see it's a little bit off, but it'll do. It's not like the Intrepid isn't badly built anyway. Speaking of which, because this has a light bar on it, we can put the plate down on the bumper. So we go for one of these, but make it a lot smaller. Something like that. There you go. Now for text, I would usually go for just like a standard one, but this on here and then just put the car's name. There we go. The Revelation. Changing my mind, I put it on the trunk just like any good car. Now we move to the side, and here is where things get interesting. You want a blob cap, not anything else, because this is the 90s and all American cars suddenly just grew blobs for some reason. Then you want the same for the rear. Just try to make it as big. There you go. It's the 90s America. They don't care about style, because this is a 90s American car and you don't really care about style. You just have the one fuel door just randomly placed somewhere. You also want some blobby looking mirrors, or just some basic looking mirrors or something like this. Make sure to put it on the proper side of the car and not, you know, the wrong side. Those are enormous mirrors. Now, I'm not advanced and technical enough to do, you know, interiors like that, so go to advanced trim settings, stability, go to body, window transparency, and just, you know, make it full freaking opaque so you can't see anything. So yeah, this is just a basic and simple automation car that you can buy for like what, 25 grand. And because we've already made the engine, that means that we can move on. So the gearbox, a lot of people in America don't know how to drive a manual, so I'm just gonna go with an automatic 4-speed, not a 3-speed. Please don't. 158 is pretty optimistic for a 2-liter, especially in America. Differential, open. Tire type, you gotta go cross ply with hard long life. There you go. You can make these as wide as you want, which I'll make them as wide as I can because, you know, it's America. This I'll kind of just make like a goober because, you know, it's gotta have small wheels but giant windows so you can actually see out of them even though they're opaque wheels. Rim material, steel. Because this is the 90s in America, I would give it drum front brakes, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna give them solid discs with 2 pistons. Rear brakes, however, can be drums, and you would expect a big car like this to be able to seat many people, so I'm just gonna put, you know, as many seats as possible. There you go. 4-door sedan that could fit 6 people. Interior, basic. Entertainment, you get a cassette with a basic cassette. There you go. Now for steering, this is the 90s, so we're gonna go manual rack and pinion. Traction aids, ABS. Safety, standard 90s. Springs, you gotta go standard with adaptive dampers and passive sway bars. And just like that, you've made your car. Now export to Sandbox. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to West Coast USA, a country most known for being able to do whatever the hell you want without any consequence. And here comes the car that looks very average in comparison to all the other 90s cars that they were making, aside from probably the Chrysler Cloud cars. And here the revelation is, and even though this is a 1992 car, it still has electronic stability control for some reason. Alright, let's turn her on. Cool. She sounds fruity. She sounds nice. Alright. Drive and go. Oh, she's still spinning. Oh my god, the transmission. Oh my gosh. It takes like 4 years to shift gears. And I got a speeding fine, unfortunately. Oh good, there's only comfort or sport mode. And apparently this thing has sport mode gear. Front wheel drift. Oh, never mind. Respawned, so now let's see how she really drives. That is a very slow takeoff. Oh my goodness. Yeah, if you're not heaving this thing at full throttle, then there is no point in, you know, doing anything with it. I'm gonna do a pull from 40 miles an hour. Yes, I know, I got a speeding fine, I don't care. Oh my gosh. I feel like she's decent on power, but its transmission sucks so bad. I feel like that this transmission over a long period of time will slip more than a 4L Slippy E. Like, look at how long it takes to You might as well think it has a slipping transmission. Something we can do is test 0 to 60, so it does weigh 3,000 pounds and has 103 horsepower, so we might as well see how much it takes for this thing to get to 0 to 60, so rev it up. Wheel spin. Shift, you shift so slow. Seconds. Oh my gosh, this thing is a slow. Holy crap. Well, I mean, it is an American 90s car, so it kind of makes sense. But enough about that. You see, most American cars are known for going fast in straight lines, so let's see how fast we can get the Revelation up to. How is it a win-win, you might ask? Well, it uses less fuel, and it's more powerful, so ha! Take that, Legrand. We gotta line this this sucker up. Hopefully she'll be able to go. Launch it. Go. Yeah, we're winning. Oh, the slow shifts though. How far behind is he? He is not far behind at all. No, no, he's winning. No, come on, Revelation. Oh, we lost. Oh, come on, man. Oh my gosh, 19 seconds in the corner. Yeah, the Revelation lost, unfortunately. Okay, that might have not been the best, best representation of this thing, so I think the best representation we can go is taking it on the track and seeing how fast it is. And just like Mr. Grog TV, who is another automation builder, we are going to take the lap around the West Coast USA track. Now, to be completely truthful with you, I don't know what track he's doing, so I'm just going to do the short race circuit and, take it with a grain of salt. Go! Blazing start! Oh my gosh, the transmission in this thing is the biggest freaking downfall. It shifts so slow. The brakes are surprisingly good, even though, new drums in the understeer. Heavy understeer. But it has drums in the rear and discs in the front. It does surprisingly well. I mean, it's not going as fast, to truly, be able to stop, and it only weighs 3,000 pounds, so it's not stressful, but, still. You know what, just like with the car, I'm pretty sure I can just, just take these corners all without braking. I just need to let off the gas. Except for this one. This one's kind of, hit the rev limiter. Yes! Let's go. Oh, I hit the rumble strips. That was a race car. Anything under like 45 miles an hour, this thing can take really well. Go down here. Yes! Oh! I am revving the beans out of her. Come on. Come on, Revelation. Oh god, hit the corner. There you go. Alright, straight. Come on. Come on, you accelerate just like a proton. Come on. 157. Oh. What a blazing amount of speed. Now, is that good? I don't know. Is it bad? Maybe. I've also noticed something with this car. If you just rev it in neutral, it backfires. Why does it backfire? This makes no sense. Now, as most of you know, big American cars are kind of like boats, so I gotta test out if this thing can drift even though it's front-wheel drive and 4-banger powered. So let's get up here. And then handbrake. Kinda. It slips out like a rear-wheel drive car. I'll tell you that whenever you're counter steering. Lays around here. And then handbrake. Oh, we're off track. Okay, well, yeah, this thing either drifts or it doesn't. So, take your pick. And so now, if you watch this video all the way through, you should have a 90s American car, hopefully. I mean, it's slow, it's big, it's boaty. Well, not really boaty because it is, only 3,000 pounds, but still, you know what I mean.